That's not what you said. Bark like a dog. Come on, tell me you're sorry.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at on-air moments involving Vince McMahon that have since taken on a darker context in light of recent allegations levied against the former chairman and CEO of the WWE.
Some of what was played for laughs as part of the character was not that funny and was, in fact, very, very serious.
Number 10. Openly cheats on wife with Trish Stratus.
It's so nice to see you again, Trish.
This storyline from 2001 featured Vince McMahon cheating on his wife Linda, who, we should mention for the sake of narrative, was in a wheelchair and in a catatonic state. At the time, it was just seen as another shocking plot twist, fitting right in with the soap opera-heavy storylines of the era. Revisiting the on-screen affair now, complete with elaborate make-out sessions between Vince and Trish in front of Linda, it isn't just uncomfortable, it's downright exploitative.
Oh no. Oh no, my God.
Given the real-life rumors of McMahon's infidelity and shocking accusations of mistreatment towards women, as outlined in the Janelle Grant lawsuits, his lurid affair with Trish takes on a much darker tone, one that potentially reflects real-world behaviors.
The accusations by former employee Janelle Grant against McMahon and another former WWE executive are detailed and explicit.
Number 9. Vince McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club.
Go ahead, kiss my ass.
Oh.
The Kiss My Ass Club was a recurring segment in WWE for a time where Vince McMahon forced various personalities to literally pucker up and kiss his backside in the middle of the ring. The humiliating power play saw wrestlers and even commentators smooch his bare buttocks.
Because these people are gonna kiss my ass through you. Get him down.
No, wait a minute. Come on, Vince.
While meant to showcase McMahon's character as a sadistic boss, these segments now appear as a disturbing abuse of power.
You do want to be employed, don't you?
It's a good job, believe me. You want it, don't you?
Having been accused of forcing employees to engage in degrading acts in the real world, has a much darker connotation to this so-called club. It's a troubling reflection of how far McMahon was willing to go to humiliate others, both on-screen and off.
Dignified William Regal has resorted to ass kissing to keep his job.
Number 8. Jim Ross's rectal exam. For reasons never made clear, celebrated play-by-play announcer Jim Ross found himself the punchline to many of Vince McMahon's cruel jokes.
Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Stone Cold!
However, on a 2005 episode of Raw, things went too far, as Vince took part in a mock rectal exam of Ross, this while the real JR recovered from an actual colonoscopy treatment.
Look, I didn't see Dr. Heine when it aired live because I was on a morphine drip getting out of ICU that morning.
In the extended segment, Vince, as Dr. Heine, along with his assistant, Nurse Slobberknockers, pulled several items out of JR's behind. Seeing as how Vince has been accused of disregarding the dignity of his employees, the segment only further shows his willingness to publicly humiliate those under his command. It all raises major concerns about the bullying culture at WWE during this period.
It wasn't business, and it wasn't funny. So why did we do it?
Number 7. Mr. McMahon's illegitimate son.
Who's the illegitimate son of Mr. McMahon? Ladies and gentlemen, we are minutes away.
Just when you thought WWE couldn't become any more of a soap opera, it was revealed that Vince McMahon's on-screen character had an illegitimate son, which, as it turns out, was none other than Hornswoggle.
Things are looking up, Mr. McMahon, but not for you, for your son, Hornswoggle.
What?
This was meant to be nothing more than scandalous entertainment and made for some genuine intrigue among fans. However, in light of recent allegations, it takes on a more disturbing subtext. The storyline implied that McMahon had engaged in an extramarital affair, which, we now know, mirrors his real-life accusations.
The Wall Street Journal reporting that McMahon allegedly paid $3 million to a former employee after the two reportedly had an affair.
While the storyline was fictional, it's unsettling to consider how it normalized questionable behavior, making it particularly tone-deaf in light of Vince's private behavior where he's been accused of forcing himself on females. Number 6. Wrestling his daughter.
Your father's on his way to the arena right now.
My father?
Yes, Steph. Vince is on his way right now.
Thanks.
In 2003, Vince McMahon had a wrestling match against his own daughter. Yep, Stephanie McMahon. Just days before her real-life marriage to Triple H Paul Levesque stepped inside the ring to fight her father. In the I Quit match, Vince tossed Stephanie around while repeatedly slamming her into the mat, even choking her with a pipe. While Vince had previously wrestled his son Shane, the idea of a father physically assaulting his daughter, even in a scripted context, is unsettling. It's a brutal scene that raises questions about boundaries, especially with the public now more aware of McMahon's alleged history of control and manipulation. Did we mention Vince once pitched a storyline where he's revealed to be the father of Stephanie's baby? Number 5. Romance with Sable. Curiously, when valet-turned-wrestler Sable returned to WWE in 2003, she was immediately placed in a romantic storyline with her boss, Vince McMahon.
Ooh, yeah. How about a little taste, huh?
This angle is particularly troubling given that just a few years prior, Sable left the company and promptly filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Vince & Company citing allegations of sexual harassment and unsafe working conditions.
The World Wrestling Federation that I signed up to be a part of is not the World Wrestling Federation that I left.
To bring her back and place her in this lurid storyline feels manipulative at best and exploitative at worst, especially given McMahon's alleged history of using his position of power to engage in unlawful relationships with female employees. One can only wonder what the true motivations were behind this storytelling decision.
Merrill also claimed in the just-settled lawsuit that the WWF wanted her to partake in a lesbian storyline, and other wrestlers threatened to disfigure her face.
Number 4. Sexual Dance from Stacy Keibler. You've likely seen the meme created from this moment, a string of images showcasing Vince's shocked look of amazement as it intensifies with each passing one. Well, it all stems from this segment in which Stacy Keibler was made to perform a seductive dance for Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah! Stacy did say earlier, Taz, that she was going to make Mr. McMahon an offer he couldn't refuse.
This naturally was during an interview to see who would be his new personal assistant. The scene no doubt objectifies Keibler, placing her in a series of submissive positions next to her boss, both on screen and in reality. It's part of a pattern of storylines that sexualized female performers for the benefit of McMahon's sexually charged character.
Well, here's the man, Taz, who believes he needs a personal assistant. And you know, Stacy Keibler, she's been lobbying all night long for the job.
In retrospect, it all echoes the alleged exploitative behavior behind the scenes. Number 3. Tori Wilson takes off Vince's clothes.
Tori, I have to say you were nothing short of magnificent.
Thank you, Mr. McMahon.
In yet another controversial WWE storyline, Vince McMahon took part in some provocative segments with Tori Wilson, one of WWE's top female performers at the time. During an episode of SmackDown, Vince set up a risque scene where he and Tori were backstage together.
You're aggressive. I like that, you know? I like aggressive women.
You do?
Yeah.
Vince convinces Tori to undress him, leading to a provocative moment where he disrobes, only for Vince's wife Linda to catch them in the act. With real-world stories of Vince McMahon's inappropriate behavior surfacing, scenes like this become disturbing evidence of his willingness to blur the lines between performance and reality, exploiting his position to engage in uncomfortable situations with female talent, in this case, Tori Wilson. Number 2. Candice Michelle is Vince's sex slave. In 2006, WWE aired a storyline where Candice Michelle was portrayed as Vince McMahon's sex slave. This angle involved a plethora of suggestive scenes and implied sexual encounters between the two.
Very nice.
I do have magnificent healing powers, don't I?
At the time, it was viewed as somewhat edgy entertainment, albeit in bad taste. But in light of recent real-world revelations, including damning accusations from Janelle Grant, where she alleges she was treated as a sexual slave for McMahon and his cronies, it's deeply unsettling.
While referring to her as his porn star.
This storyline blurred the lines between fiction and reality in a way that now seems potentially indicative of a toxic culture rampant with mistreatment towards women in WWE at the time.
I think I can help you, Candice.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Making Trish Stratus bark like a dog.
And they would do anything for stardom.
This now infamous segment leading into WrestleMania X7 was shocking even at the time, but it's especially disturbing today. In it, McMahon, portraying his villainous Mr. McMahon character, forces Trish Stratus to strip down to her underwear and crawl around the ring barking like a dog.
That's not what you said. Bark like a dog. Come on, tell me you're sorry.
The scene was meant to showcase McMahon's power trip and penchant for humiliation, but it now appears as a gross abuse of authority. Given everything we know about Vince, this moment takes on an extremely darker tone, suggesting a pattern of objectifying women in his employ.
In the lawsuit, Janelle Grant accuses McMahon of sharing sexually explicit photographs and videos of her with the wrestlers and recruiting men to have a threesome at the WWE headquarters, even during working hours.
If this is how far McMahon went to demean women publicly, how far did he take it privately? We may soon get our answers in the court system.
Grant's lawyers state she hopes this lawsuit will prevent further women from being victimized.
Which on-air segment featuring Vince McMahon do you think has aged the worst? Share your picks in those comments below.
Vince's public persona, the Mr. McMahon character, was intentionally outrageous. And tied up in all of that was this notion that he was just rapacious and sexually deviant.